Hello everybody, this is the Vikstrand and today we're going to talk about a sequel to one of my favorite movies from France, The Crimson Rivers. The Crimson Rivers was absolutely excellent, and a couple of years later they made a sequel. How does it stack up against its original one? Well, let's take a look at The Crimson Rivers 2, which for some reason has gotten the ill-fated subtitle of Angels of the Apocalypse. So let's take a look at it, shall we? The first thing that we run into it is the fact that we have lost our director and we've lost our writer from the first one. Now, as writer goes, he has been replaced by Luc Besson, but as we all know, Luc Besson can be a hit and miss kind of a thing, so will it work? Let's have a look, shall we? So Jean Reno is back and he's investigating murders. In this case, we have moved from the French Alps to the eastern of France, close to the German borders, and he is looking into murders with a religious feel to it, and at the same time we have another cop played by Benoit Emmanuel, somebody guy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Vincent Cassel is not in this one either. Sad, I really liked him. He's investigating murders on his term, and they will eventually see that their cases intertwines and they join forces, not only with each other, but with obligatory hot chick with attitude and fighting skills. This chick that I don't know really what she has done before or that much about. So they try to figure out what's going on. At the same time, people are starting to pop up around them, curious hooded figures that look like monks. Who knows martial arts? Yes, we do know that Luc Besson wrote this one. We do. And I also think that the writers and directors of Hot Fuzz should probably know. I think that they stole this idea a little bit from this one. Now, I really like Jean Reno and I think he's great. I loved Crimson Rivers, and if you've seen my top 10 French movies of all time, it's there, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. That list is awesome. We all know that the finale was a little bit dumb, that the conclusion was a little bit far-fetched and made us scratch our heads a little bit, but we kind of bought it anyway because we were so into the story. And for the longest of time, this movie was almost on the same level as the first one, but then the ending came along with Christopher Lee, who is awesome, of course, because he's Christopher Lee. His mere presence adds to the final verdict of this movie. But then we find out what the end game to all of this very gruesome thing is, and then it turns from very gruesome things to a very silly nonsense kind of a thing, and we're thinking, what the fuck? Because then we don't get so invested anymore. We don't care that much anymore, despite the suspense we have, despite the fantastic cinematography, despite the gloom and doom atmosphere that looms over this entire movie. Despite all of this, it kind of falls to the side because it is dumb. I can't describe it in any other way. However, I will maintain that if you want to see a good French thriller, if you want to see a good sequel to The Crimson Rivers, this is not a bad movie. This is not a bad movie at all. This is a good movie that could have been fantastic if it did have a better finale to it, if it had a better third act, because it gets really silly. They must have had some kind of a wet night on the town, consuming lots and lots of Alsace wines. They thought that, well, we have to write an ending to the movie, and then they wrote down a bunch of ideas and they tossed it around, and then they said, well, this is dumb, but that's the only thing we have, let's roll with this. So they did it, and we got the final movie, and it is okay. It is good, it has suspense to it, but the ending brings it down a little bit. It's a good French thriller, and lower your expectations and you will have a much enjoyable, fast-paced and interesting and pretty gruesome at times French thriller. I give this movie 62 points. I think it is still a movie worth seeing if you haven't seen it already. You should check it out. Yes, we're continuing our journey here in Italy, and now we're in Perugia. Let's see where we end up next time, because the Victor is coming back to you reviewing, well, so-and-so from such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.